Hi, this is Bob from Bob's Short Story Hour, a podcast that features an eclectic array of short story recitations from both classic and contemporary authors, as well as occasional interviews and discussions about both. You're listening to Jollyvile Radio, right here on KJVR.
Hello, this is Michael Crosa, director of Jollyvile Radio. We're taking a break from our normal episodes during the month of December and instead bringing you some behind-the-scenes content. If this is your first time listening to Jollyvile Radio, you're absolutely welcome to stick around. Just know that we normally have a lot of jokes, stories, different voices, and characters, and I hope that you'll take the time to listen to some of those as well. Today, we're bringing you the full and unedited Community Beat interview with Dr. Mark Katz, a shorter version of which appeared on Season 1, Episode 11, titled Meow. Dr. Katz is a professor at the University of North Carolina and was one of my favorite professors in undergrad. It's probably worth mentioning that during this interview, we discuss some topics that some folks might want to know about ahead of time. We talk about somebody who's on death row, and we talk a little bit about some of my own mental health in college. A huge thanks to Dr. Katz for sharing time with us, and I hope that you'll enjoy listening.
Michael, how are my levels?
Levels are good. Levels check. Level testing 1, 2, 3.
This is Jollyville Community Beat with Uncle Asar, turning the spotlight on good people doing great work in the real world. I'm rapping today with Dr. Mark Katz, founding director at Next Level, a University of North Carolina Chapel Hill-based organization using hip-hop music, dance, and art to foster cross-cultural creative exchange in diverse communities. Dr. Mark Katz, welcome to Community Beat.
Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be in Jollyville.
Excellent. Now, Next Level is a U.S. State Department initiative harkening the jazz ambassadors from the 1950s. Tell us more about that.
So Next Level is the name of the program that I was the founding director of. It's in the lineage of the Jazz Ambassadors program that some people may know about, which is when the State Department sent famous American jazz artists around the world to promote a better image of the U.S. and to kind of one-up the Soviet Union during the Cold War. So this was a Cold War phenomenon, and Next Level is kind of the hip-hop post 9/11 version of the Jazz Ambassadors.
Let's reverse for a second, Dr. Mark. For the non-initiate, what is hip-hop or hip-hop culture?
Well, that's not something I could say in 30 seconds, but very briefly, it's a culture, just as you say. Typically, people think of it or speak of it in terms of different elements of hip hop. So within hip hop culture, talk about the art of the MC or rapping, the DJ or disc jockey. You have graffiti art, also known as writing. There are a number of other elements. Sometimes people bring in like knowledge and fashion, but it's an art and culture that has its roots in African American and African diasporic practices, though it is now multiracial and global.
Now, your literature speaks of something called promoting conflict transformation. That sounds powerful. Break that down for us, and how does hip hop play a role in that?
So one of the things that we try to do is promote what we call conflict transformation, which is different from conflict resolution, which is a more specific type of action where you're trying to get in the middle of some beef or conflict and resolve that particular one. Conflict transformation is a broader idea where it's about transforming the conflict that could be within yourself, within your community, between you and another individual, and so on, through art and through positive self-expression. So it's a very broad tool that we could all use. It's not just about going in somewhere and trying to break up a fight. It's about using art as a way to make the world a more peaceful, cooperative place. And the reason why hip hop fits into this is that hip hop basically is the manifestation of transformed conflict. in terms of its history. Its history arose around young people in underserved, oppressed communities who were trying to make a better lives for themselves. And they did that through art, through rapping, through dancing, through painting, through poetry, through fashion. And so hip hop is actually a perfect way of achieving conflict transformation.
Dr. Mark, how does an artist become a part of Next Level? Are they recruited? Is there an interview process? And could you tell us some of the places you visited with Next Level?
So we have an open call for applications, and actually we are going to put out a call in sometime in September. So if people are interested, they could go to the Next Level website, which is nextlevel-usa.org, where you could just Google Next Level State Department or Next Level Hip Hop. And there's an application process, which is it's written, but you're also supposed to submit links to your works, whether that's songs or dance routines or visual art. And we've been to more than 30 countries since 2014, been to 6 continents. Most recently we're in Bolivia, and that unfortunately got cut in half because of the pandemic. But coming up in this next cycle, we're supposed to go to Nepal, to Haiti, to Ukraine, and several other countries.
Could you repeat that web information for us again? Let me try that again, Michael. I don't know what I'm saying. Dr. Katz, could you give us their contact information again, their website?
Sure, it's Next Level, so just NEXTLEVEL -USA.org, O-R-G.
Dr. Mark Katz, it's been real having you with us today, and we wish you the best of the best, man.
Well, it was great talking to you, and good luck with all your work.
This has been This has been Jollyville Community Beat with Uncle Asar, and dig this. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. Peace. That was great.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
That was easy. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, pretty painless. You had mentioned wanting to talk about the death row inmate.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to. That's just very different from. He's not in. Unfortunately, he can't be in Next Level because he's in prison. But
fair enough.
no, I don't know that we have to mention him. But I'm just to let you know, I've been working to help him get his music out. It's.
Let me give him an intro. You want to talk about it?
I mean, might as well say something then. If it's not quite the same as Next Level, but it's it's something I think about in terms of trying to do good in the world. But yeah, and I'll mention his SoundCloud page because he writes. He has songs that, like, one is called White Cop, another is called Cuff America, KCUF. Yeah, so they're pretty hard-hitting songs about injustice. So happy to mention it, and you could decide whether to use it or not.
Okay. Dr. Katz, Next Level is involved with a very special population. Can you talk about that?
Well, I thought I'd also mention an artist that I'm working with. His name is Aleem Braxton, also known as Roam Alone. And he's currently imprisoned in death row in North Carolina. And he has written some amazing songs. He's an MC who talks about the injustices in the prison system, about anti-Black racism in the U.S., about police violence. And I would love to get the word out about him. You could get his songs at soundcloud.com/roamalone. And let me spell that. That's RROMEALONE. So 2 R's, Roam Alone. And listen to his music. It's powerful.
Michael? Hey, that's good, man.
Cool.
You familiar with Abdul Jamal? Abu Jamal?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So it's kind of sort of like that because he does radio, but you're doing music.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's a fascinating story because he has no equipment. He just has to get on the prison phone and kind of, crouch in the corner and rap. Someone on the other side records, and my part in this is I connected him with a producer to make beats for him, and I'm now running his Facebook page and helping promote his work. So, yeah, I mean, it's the stories he tells are pretty incredible. We write the old-fashioned style because he's been in prison for 27 years and has never used a computer in his life. Never held a cell phone. It's kind of amazing to get his perspective because he's kind of been almost like in a time warp because, he went in 1990 and then you think of all the things that happened in terms of technology that he's never encountered. So anyway, really, I mean, he's in prison for a reason, but he spent the last, quarter century kind of becoming a better person. And I mean, he'll never get out, but I would be absolutely confident that he would be a better citizen than a lot of people I know, if he got out.
So the name I was thinking of was Mumia Abu Jamal, but of course you're familiar with him.
Yeah, that's why I assume, who,
right.
Yeah, an activist,
right.
Yeah.
How does this brother's work stand up to like the current rap? Because he would say, if he went in, incarcerated in 1990, that's like on the cusp of old school rap kind of sort of.
Yeah, that's it. No, you're absolutely right. He, I mean, the thing is he listens to the radio, so he's been able to hear, what's been going on. Though he was complaining about Megan Thee Stallion the other day. I mean, not about her personally, just like, I just don't know if I like that music. Yeah, I mean, he has a little bit of a Tupac vibe, but with his music has gotten a little bit of an update because the producer adds like trap beats and, so it's kind of a mix of things. But let me just put it in the chat just so you can check it out. I mean, one of the big challenges, and you'll appreciate this, someone who does sound, is how in the world do you get? I mean, the sound, he can't even use a mic. It's just
over the phone,
crappy prison phone. So the challenge of producing is to try to create instrumentals around it that don't kind of swallow it up, or and how to boost his vocals. I mean, but part of it's the authenticity. It sounds like he's rapping over a phone, and he is.
Do you have any plans to to work with any more incarcerated artists?
Well, I mean, it started with him. He actually reached out to me because he had heard something about the work I was doing and wanted to know if I could connect him with people. So I think through him I will, because I'm actually, I'm hiring one of his friends who's also on death row to do artwork for his albums. There's a guy who does a lot of work, who's a great artist. But really the thing that he wants me to help with is get the word out about two of his friends who are on death row who he is convinced were wrongly imprisoned. And so, but yeah, I'm open to working with other people. I mean, it's really opened my eyes to like just how, I already knew it, but once you meet someone and, learn about them, you realize like these are actual human beings and they're just being thrown away and being abused and literally tortured. Yeah, it's, it's hard to hear, but it's important.
One last question. Do they get any monetary reward, or do they just want to do it just to have their voices heard?
Well, I mean, for him, for Aline, it's he can't make money off this. I mean, there are laws against that, and I understand that. So it's really about his friends. I mean, he has an ego too, and he's an MC, so he wants people to, he has dreams of making it big in the sense of having lots of people listen to him. But he's not going to make any money if money comes in. Could sort of go in, pay for his phone or canteen privileges, or maybe go to his mom or something. But he can't directly make money.
Michael?
Cool. Well, the only profound thing I have to say is that I bought hip hop stamps the other day. The post office.
Yeah, no, I mean, all the letters I send to him use those stamps. So,
That's funny. Yeah, I saw those recently, and I was like, "Oh, I'm about to do the hip hop thing. I got to get the."
Yeah, as you should. I mean, the great thing is that I don't know if it's a direct reference, but in Fight the Power, Chuck D says, none of my heroes are on stamps, and so, okay, now except for Chuck D stamp, but I think you have to be dead to be on a stamp. But anyway.
Yeah, they are just generic like outlines.
Yeah, they're not. I would rather see actual artists on the stamps, but
or graffiti.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be right. That would be good too. But yeah, they're kind of generic kind of silhouettes. I mean, they look cool, but
yeah.
Let me ask you something. Have you seen the movie from '84, Beat Street?
Yeah, but like a long time ago.
Everybody was into breaking. I didn't like breaking. It was too studio for me. Beat Street for me, as a native Texan at the time, I was in high school, my senior year. Beat Street was like, that was just so fascinating to me, man. That Ray Don Chong. And I think the guy's name was Guy Davis, and introducing the other guy. And then the mother was a black actress from way back in the day, and she was even on Sanford and Son before,
Oh yeah.
But those are authentic people from the Bronx or whatever, and it was crazy, man. But everybody liked that break. I didn't like breaking.
I remember. I'm of that age when. I was in high school when some of those movies came out, and I don't know if you remember Flashdance. There was that little.
Oh hell yeah, Jennifer Beals.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
That was amazing. Like that just blew my mind when I saw that. It's like what that.
What about do you remember Crush Groove with Sheila E?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The 80s, man.
I know. It's fun to go back and watch. I mean, the movies aren't that great, but they're like in terms of like, dialogue or, plot, but
what about this? Jump off, man.
Yeah.
So again, one final question. What type of student was Michael?
He was a good student. He was what I liked about him was the initiative that he took, and he's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and also that he's just bold. He's just like, he did some crazy stuff. He
has us both here in Jollyville. That's very bold.
But didn't he dress up as some? I'm trying to remember when
I did a video. Here's the thing.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell this, and I recognize that we're holding you a little bit later than I said it. I would,
I'm
sorry about that. But it was in the Intro to Rock course, and one of the final assignments or final extra credit bonus points, whatever, was like you could either come perform or we do a class concert, and you could either sign up to do it solo, whatever. You could sign up to be part of the class band, just a pickup band or whatever. And I that semester I was actually kind of going through a lot of just my own depression, mental health stuff, but I had just discovered how I could basically do looping but record myself playing different instruments and do whatever. Yeah, and so I came up with just this insane, crazy storyline, and I came up with 3 songs, and it was video, and I had this character. I dressed up. There was this big fluffy overcoat that I found in the trash.
That's a theme with you, man.
Yeah, finds them in the trash. I think I even brought fuzzy handcuffs in. I think that was involved. There was like a whole storyline. Yeah, it was like I remember being up there at one point because this is supposed to be like a music performance, and I'm showing a video. And yeah, I remember at one point looking out at the audience and just seeing some guy like in his hand, like, oh God, what is this? And I remember sitting there with the fuzzy handcuffs, like, what am I doing? It's like,
I remember thinking, you know what? He gets points for, for initiative. I think it's great. It's weird. You know what? I'm going to let him run with it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Greatly appreciated.
My pleasure. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Well, and the reason I brought up that I was just going through a lot at the time is that specific project, as weird as it was like kind of what gave me like the stuff to like make it through all that stuff. So
that was next level way back then.
It was totally different. Yeah, you know what? I'm going through my. Wonder if I have like something from you because I don't throw anything away. Like I think I have notes on a paper you wrote or something. I could tell you what grade you got. One second.
That's funny from way back in the day. I do remember that I ended up going to I read the summer reading book when I was a senior for like the incoming freshmen, and I ran into you on campus, and you were like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to come to your discussion group."
I found I gave you an A- on something.
Emphasis on the minus.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, I'm just looking at the notes, but yeah, you did a good job.
Let me ask you something else, Doc. Howard University Hip Hop Conference Summit or whatever every year. You participate in that?
No, I've never been. Is it? It happens every year.
I think it's every year. I'm not sure, but it's there. It's a thing at Howard University in DC, Hip Hop Summit.
Yeah, I've not had the pleasure. I'll have to check it out.
Okay. Yeah. Now I was around when Rappers Delight came out, and I thought that was the most fascinating thing because I was already into like lyrics and poetry and that kind of thing. So when they came out with this rap that I could relate to, they just blew my mind, man. So I was learning every rap that came out between 79 and like 82. I knew every rap, and I started writing raps, and it influenced my poetry and all that kind of thing. So yeah, man. But I'm not into hip hop right now.
Oh yeah, well I can understand. I mean, I remember Rapper's Delight. I didn't start writing. I never wrote a rap, but I think I still have a cassette tape for George Clinton's Atomic Dog.
Yeah, George Clinton. Yeah.
I mean, not hip hop really, but still, I like 1982 or something. So I can't claim to have ever been a hip hop head back in the day, but even a white kid who played violin in the suburbs couldn't miss.
Oh, they have those two young brothers that do violin hip hop.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What are they called? What is the name?
Black Violin or something.
Something. Yeah, one of my mentors from DC. She's an older lady. She took her grandsons to see them or whatever, and I was like, and so she sent me a link, and I was like, oh, okay.
They're good. Yeah.
Okay. Hey man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Even off the record.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I could keep talking. I mean, but maybe another time. But when do you think this will come out?
Yeah, probably about a month to 2 months, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
So
we got a backlog of interviews.
Well, good.
Yeah,
that's good, right?
But yours is right at the top though of the best.
I'm trying to make it easy on like, okay, don't say anything that needs editing. But I mean, there's probably some of that because something's coming out in September and it may be October. So, when it comes out. But anyway.
Either way.
Hey, it was great.
Well, anyway,
yeah, very much appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it, and just keep in touch.
Sounds good. You too.
Okay, well, have a good night. Take care.
All righty, you too. Night.
Bye.
Bye.